The world watches America. It always has. From the early days of revolution to becoming a global superpower, America's journey has been one of ambition, action, and influence. We've been a beacon of hope for many, a symbol of freedom and opportunity. Our economic might, military power, and cultural impact are undeniable. But with great power comes great responsibility. We've made mistakes along the way, no doubt, yet we've also learned, adapted, and strived to be better. Today, the world is changing faster than ever. New challenges are emerging and old problems need fresh solutions. The question isn't whether America will play a role on the world stage, we already do. The question is, what kind of role we'll choose to play. Will we lead with strength and compassion, or will we retreat from the world's complexities? The answer to that question will shape not just America's future, but the future of the entire world. Right now, the world is at a crossroads. We're grappling with climate change, a challenge that knows no borders. Global pandemics can emerge from anywhere and spread rapidly. Technology connects us in unprecedented ways, but it also brings new risks like cyber attacks and misinformation campaigns. America has a choice to make. We can choose to focus inward, addressing only our own problems. Or we can embrace our role as a global leader, working with other nations to tackle these shared challenges. The path of isolation might seem easier in the short term, but it's a dangerous path. When America steps up, when we engage with the world constructively, we can make a real difference. We can be a force for peace, for progress, and for a brighter future, but it takes commitment, it takes vision, and it takes a willingness to work together, both at home and abroad. America's political influence stretches far and wide. We're a founding member of the United Nations, a key player in NATO, and a driving force in international diplomacy. Our foreign policy decisions have ripple effects across the globe. When we speak, the world listens. This influence isn't just about military strength, although that's certainly a factor. It's also about our values, our ideas, and our commitment to democracy and human rights. We've inspired countless movements for freedom and self-determination around the world. People look to America as a model, a beacon of hope in a sometimes dark world. But our political weight comes with a heavy responsibility. We can't take our influence for granted. We must use it wisely, always striving to promote peace, stability, and the rule of law. That means engaging in diplomacy, building coalitions, and working through international institutions to address global challenges. We have to remember that our actions speak louder than words. If we preach democracy while supporting authoritarian regimes, our credibility takes a hit. If we advocate for human rights while ignoring abuses in our own backyard, our message rings hollow. To truly lead, we must live up to our own ideals. The world today is vastly different from the one America dominated after World War II. We're no longer the only superpower on the block. China's economic and military might is growing. Russia is flexing its muscles on the world stage. Other regional powers are asserting themselves. This multipolar world presents both challenges and opportunities for American diplomacy. On the one hand, we can no longer dictate terms or expect others to simply fall in line. We need to be more collaborative, more willing to listen and compromise. Building consensus and finding common ground will be crucial. On the other hand, a multipolar world also offers the potential for greater cooperation. No single country can solve the world's problems alone. Climate change, pandemics, terrorism, these are transnational threats that require global solutions. By working with other nations, pooling our resources and expertise, we can achieve far more than we ever could in isolation. This new era of diplomacy demands a nuanced approach, one that recognizes the complexities of the 21st century. We need diplomats who are skilled negotiators, strategic thinkers, and cultural ambassadors. We need to invest in diplomacy, strengthen our alliances, and rebuild trust with our partners around the world. Section 3. The price of peace, security commitments and global stability. America's military might is undeniable. We have the most powerful armed forces in the world, with bases and deployments across the globe. This military presence comes at a cost, both financially and in terms of human life. But it also plays a crucial role in maintaining global stability and deterring aggression. Our security commitments extend from Europe to Asia, from the Middle East to Africa. We provide a security umbrella for our allies, deterring potential adversaries and ensuring freedom of navigation in key waterways. We also engage in peacekeeping operations, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief efforts around the world. However, the use of military force should always be a last resort. We must be judicious in our interventions, weighing the potential costs and benefits carefully. Endless wars and regime change projects have proven to be costly and counterproductive. We need to prioritize diplomacy and development, addressing the root causes of conflict and instability. Investing in diplomacy and development is not just the right thing to do, it's also the smart thing to do. By promoting economic opportunity, good governance, and respect for human rights, we can create a more peaceful and prosperous world. A world where military intervention is less likely to be necessary. Section 1. Our financial markets drive global investment. The decisions we make, the policies we pursue, they have a ripple effect that's felt from Wall Street to Main Street all over the world. When our economy is strong, it creates opportunities not just for Americans but for people everywhere. We're a major trading partner, a source of investment capital, and a hub for innovation. American companies create jobs, develop new technologies, and bring goods and services to the global marketplace. But our economic influence also carries a responsibility. We have a duty to promote fair trade practices, to support developing economies, and to ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared more broadly. When we engage in protectionist policies or prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability, it can hurt not just our own economy but the global economy as well. The world needs America to be a responsible economic leader. That means promoting free and fair trade, investing in education and infrastructure, and fostering an environment where businesses can thrive and create jobs. It also means working with other nations to address global economic challenges, from poverty and inequality to climate change and financial instability. Section 2. Fair play or foul play trade, globalization, and American workers. Trade is a two-way street. It can be a powerful engine for economic growth, creating jobs and lowering prices for consumers. But it can also lead to job losses in certain sectors, as companies move production overseas to lower costs. This tension between the benefits and drawbacks of globalization has fueled political debates in America and beyond. Some argue that free trade agreements have benefited corporations at the expense of American workers. They point to factories that have closed, jobs that have been outsourced, and communities that have been left behind. Others argue that trade has on balance been a net positive for the American economy, creating more jobs than it has destroyed and making goods and services more affordable. Finding the right balance is crucial. We need to ensure that trade agreements are fair and benefit all Americans, not just a select few. That means enforcing labor and environmental standards, providing support for workers who are displaced by trade, and investing in education and training to help Americans compete in the global marketplace. We also need to recognize that globalization is here to stay. The world is interconnected, and trying to build walls around our economy will only isolate us and harm our own prosperity. Instead, we need to embrace the opportunities of globalization while addressing its challenges head-on. Investing in the future innovation, development, and global progress. America has always been a nation of innovators, from the pioneers who settled the West to the entrepreneurs who built Silicon Valley. Our spirit of ingenuity has led to countless breakthroughs that have transformed our world, from the telephone and the airplane to the internet and the smartphone. This spirit of innovation is one of our greatest assets, and it's something we need to nurture and support. That means investing in education, particularly in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. It means supporting research and development, both in the public and private sectors. And it means fostering an environment where entrepreneurs can thrive and turn their ideas into reality. But our responsibility doesn't end at our own borders. We have a moral obligation to help lift others out of poverty and create a more equitable world. That means investing in development assistance, supporting sustainable economic growth in developing countries, and working to address global challenges like climate change, pandemics, and hunger. When we invest in innovation and development, we're not just helping others, we're helping ourselves. We're creating a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world for generations to come. A planet in peril. America's role in combating climate change. The Earth is heating up, Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising, and extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more intense. Climate change is a global crisis that demands a global response, and America has a critical role to play in leading the way. For too long we've been slow to act, bogged down by political gridlock and short-term thinking, but the time for denial is over. The science is clear, the stakes are high, and the consequences of inaction are too great to ignore. We need to transition away from fossil fuels and towards cleaner, renewable sources of energy like solar, wind, and geothermal. This transition won't be easy, but it's essential for the health of our planet and the prosperity of future generations. We need to invest in clean energy technologies, create green jobs, and make our economy more sustainable. And we need to work with other nations to reduce global emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. America has the ingenuity, the resources, and the moral imperative to lead the fight against climate change. We can be a beacon of hope for the world, demonstrating that it's possible to have a strong economy and a healthy environment. The time for action is now. The digital battlefield, cybersecurity, and the fight against global threats. In today's interconnected world, the threats we face don't stop at our borders. Cyber attacks, misinformation campaigns, and the spread of extremist ideologies can originate from anywhere and have a devastating impact on our security, our economy, and our way of life. Cybersecurity is no longer just a technical issue, it's a national security imperative. We need to strengthen our defenses against cyber attacks, protect our critical infrastructure, and work with our allies to deter and respond to malicious actors in cyberspace. We also need to be vigilant against the spread of misinformation and propaganda, which can undermine trust in our institutions and sow discord within our societies. The fight against global threats like terrorism and extremism also requires international cooperation. We need to share intelligence, coordinate law enforcement efforts, and work together to address the root causes of extremism, such as poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity. America has a vital role to play in leading the global effort to combat these 21st century threats. We have the technological expertise, the intelligence capabilities, and the diplomatic reach to make a real difference. But we can't do it alone. We need to work with our partners around the world to build a safer, more secure future for all. Section 3, a shared responsibility: pandemics, health, and human security. The COVID-19 pandemic was a stark reminder that health threats can quickly cross borders, impacting the lives of millions and disrupting the global economy. The world is becoming increasingly interconnected, making us all more vulnerable to the spread of infectious diseases. We need to strengthen global health security systems, invest in early warning and rapid response mechanisms, and ensure equitable access to vaccines and treatments. The next pandemic could emerge at any time, and we need to be prepared. Beyond pandemics, we face a range of global health challenges, from chronic diseases like heart disease and cancer to maternal and child mortality. Addressing these challenges requires a coordinated global effort, with countries working together to share knowledge, pool resources, and implement effective public health interventions. America has a long history of global health leadership, from eradicating smallpox to combating HIV/AIDS. We need to continue to invest in global health research, support health systems strengthening in developing countries, and work to achieve health equity for all people. Investing in global health is not just the right thing to do, it's also the smart thing to do. Healthy populations are essential for economic growth, social progress, and global security. When we work together to improve health outcomes around the world, we create a safer, more prosperous, and more equitable future for everyone. Section 1. The American Dream's Global Reach, Cultural Influence and Soft Power. America's cultural influence is everywhere. Turn on the radio in Tokyo and you might hear a Taylor Swift song. Walk the streets of Rio de Janeiro and you'll see people wearing jeans and sneakers. Hollywood movies captivate audiences from Paris to Mumbai. This cultural influence, what experts call soft power, is a potent force. It's not about military might or economic dominance. It's about the allure of American ideas, values, and creativity. The American dream, the idea that anyone can achieve success through hard work and determination, has resonated with people all over the world, inspiring them to strive for a better life. From music and movies to fashion and food, American culture has shaped global trends and tastes. This cultural exchange has been a two-way street, with American artists and innovators drawing inspiration from other cultures. This cross-pollination of ideas has enriched our own culture and helped to create a more interconnected world. But America's cultural influence isn't always a force for good. The glorification of violence in some movies, the materialism often associated with American culture, and the spread of misinformation through social media. These are all valid concerns. We need to be mindful of the messages we're sending to the world and strive to use our cultural influence responsibly. Section 2. Bridging divides, cultural exchange and mutual understanding. In an increasingly polarized world, cultural exchange can be a powerful tool for building bridges and fostering mutual understanding. When people from different cultures interact, whether through travel, education, or the arts, it breaks down stereotypes and promotes empathy. Educational exchange programs, for example, allow students to live and study in another country, immersing themselves in a new culture and gaining a deeper appreciation for other perspectives. Cultural diplomacy initiatives such as art exhibits, film festivals, and musical performances can showcase the richness and diversity of different cultures, fostering dialogue and breaking down barriers. The internet and social media have also played a role in connecting people across borders, allowing them to share their cultures and experiences with a global audience. However, these platforms can also be used to spread misinformation and amplify divisions. It's crucial to use these tools responsibly and to promote constructive dialogue and understanding. America should be at the forefront of promoting cultural exchange and people-to-people diplomacy. We need to invest in educational exchange programs, support cultural diplomacy initiatives, and encourage Americans to engage with the world. By fostering mutual understanding and respect, we can create a more peaceful and interconnected world. Section 3. The responsibilities of influence, promoting tolerance and countering extremism. With great cultural influence comes great responsibility. America has a duty to use its soft power to promote tolerance, understanding, and respect for diversity. We need to stand up against all forms of bigotry and discrimination, whether based on race, religion, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. Extremism in all its forms is a threat to peace and security around the world. From violent ideologies to hateful rhetoric, extremism seeks to divide societies and sow discord. America has a responsibility to counter these narratives, both at home and abroad. We can do this by supporting civil society organizations that are working to promote tolerance and understanding. We can work with our allies to counter extremist propaganda and recruitment efforts. And we can lead by example, demonstrating that a diverse and inclusive society is a strong and vibrant society. America's cultural influence gives us a unique platform to promote positive change in the world. We need to use this platform wisely, advocating for tolerance, understanding, and respect for all people. By doing so, we can help to create a more peaceful and just world for generations to come. Section 1. A new era of leadership, forging a path forward. The world is changing. Power dynamics are shifting, new challenges are emerging, and old solutions are no longer enough. America, as the world's leading power, faces a choice: cling to the past or embrace the future and forge a new era of leadership. This new leadership doesn't mean dictating terms or going it alone. It means leading through partnership, working with other nations to address shared challenges and build a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. It means recognizing that our security and prosperity are inextricably linked to the well-being of others. We need to move beyond outdated notions of zero-sum games and embrace a spirit of cooperation and mutual benefit. We need to listen to our partners, understand their perspectives, and find common ground on issues of global concern. This approach requires humility, empathy, and a willingness to compromise. America's greatest strength has always been its ability to adapt, innovate, and lead with purpose. Now is the time to summon that spirit once again, to embrace the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century and to forge a path forward that benefits not just America, but the entire world. The power of example, living up to our ideals. America has always held itself out as a beacon of hope, a shining city on a hill. Our founding principles of liberty, democracy, and equality have inspired generations around the world to strive for a better future. But our actions haven't always lived up to our words, and our credibility has been tested in recent years. To regain the trust and admiration of the world, we need to start by setting a better example. We need to address our own internal divisions, promote inclusivity and justice at home, and demonstrate our commitment to the rule of law and human rights, both domestically and internationally. When we champion democracy abroad while our own democracy is under strain, our message rings hollow. When we advocate for human rights while ignoring injustices within our own borders, our moral authority is weakened. To truly lead, we must first get our own house in order. By living up to our ideals, by demonstrating the strength and resilience of our democracy, and by being a force for good in the world, we can inspire others to follow our lead and create a more just and equitable world for all. Building a better future: collaboration, innovation, and shared responsibility. The challenges we face in the 21st century are complex and interconnected. Climate change, pandemics, terrorism, cyber warfare. These threats don't respect borders and can't be solved by any one nation acting alone. Building a better future requires a collective effort, one that harnesses the power of collaboration, innovation, and shared responsibility. We need to strengthen international institutions like the United Nations and work together to find solutions that benefit all nations. We need to invest in scientific research, technological innovation, and sustainable development to create a more prosperous and equitable world. And we need to foster a spirit of global citizenship, recognizing that we are all interconnected and that our fates are intertwined. America has a unique role to play in this endeavor. We have the resources, the ingenuity, and the moral imperative to lead the way. But we can't do it alone. We need to work with our partners around the world, sharing the burdens and the benefits to build a better future for generations to come. The road ahead will be challenging, but the rewards of success are too great to ignore. By embracing collaboration, innovation, and shared responsibility, we can create a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world for all. The world needs America, a call to renewed purpose. We've journeyed through the complexities of America's role on the world stage, exploring the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. From the halls of power to the global marketplace, from the front lines of conflict to the digital battlefields of cyberspace, America's presence is felt, its decisions scrutinized, its actions carrying the weight of consequence. The world, with all its flaws and possibilities, needs America. Not an America defined by its past missteps or consumed by internal divisions, but an America true to its founding ideals. An America that leads with strength, tempered by wisdom. An America that champions not just its own interest but the common good of humanity. This is not a call for naive idealism or a return to bygone eras. The world has changed, and America must change with it. The path forward demands a clear-eyed assessment of our strengths and weaknesses, a willingness to listen and learn from others, and the courage to embrace new approaches to old problems. The world is yearning for leadership, for a nation willing to stand up for what is right, to champion liberty and justice, to be a beacon of hope in uncertain times. America, despite its flaws, has the potential to be that nation. The question is, will we answer the call? A legacy of progress, shaping a brighter future for all. The decisions we make today will determine the course of history, not just for America, but for the world. Will we retreat into isolationism, consumed by our own internal divisions? Or will we rise to the challenges of the 21st century, embracing our role as a global leader and working with others to build a better future? The stakes couldn't be higher. The fate of our planet, the stability of the global order, the well-being of billions of people, all hang in the balance. This is not a time for timidity or short-sightedness. It's a time for boldness, for vision, for a renewed commitment to the principles that have always guided our nation at its best. Imagine a world where poverty and disease are distant memories, where conflicts are resolved peacefully, where every child has the opportunity to reach their full potential. This is the world we can create if we work together, if we embrace our shared humanity, if we dare to dream big and act with purpose. America's legacy is not yet written. We have the power to shape our own destiny and to leave a lasting impact on the world. Let us choose wisely. Let us choose to be a force for good, a champion of progress, a beacon of hope for generations to come. The world is watching, and the time for action is now. Please subscribe to this channel for more insightful content.